Identifying and overcoming biases in trading. Now, this. All right. So, confirmation bias, the tendency to seek information that confirms our beliefs and ignore information that challenges them. If for some reason, you have a feeling that the market's going to go up, but there's a potential setup that shows to take short position because the market's going to go down. But because your original bias was bullish, you stick to that no matter what information continues to develop live time. So you need to be able to adapt and adjust to live market data because using old data, sure, it helps a lot, but sometimes live data changes the entire scenario and you need to get ready to flip to the other way now. So, hindsight bias, that's the tendency to think that past events were more predictable than they actually were. So, you, when you're back testing, you're hindsight trading, right? Even if you do replay, right? You still kind of know the general flow of where price is today. So, you're trying to, like, okay, if we're here now and price is there in a week from now, live time, we do this, and I think it's going to do this to get to there. So you think that you could predict everything, right? But you kind of have that bias already built in. So you need to realize that not everything's going to work as perfectly as your back testing because live data, you see it go up and down, back and forth per candlestick, and it's going to change. It's going to change. Every tick is changing the flow of the market, and you need to just not think everything plays out perfectly as you backtest it. Overconfidence is another one that is when you overestimate our abilities and you underestimate the likelihood of negative outcomes. So again, when you're backtesting and you have like a 90% win rate and you're like, okay, I'm going to take every trade that I think's a trade because my backtesting shows I'm 90% right. Well, going into the future, nothing is certain and probabilities always change. And again, backtesting is usually a little better than your live win rate. So you need to not have your overconfidence. You need to stay humble and stay honest and analyze the market for what it is and have your trade strategy and risk management play out. Loss aversion bias, that is the tendency to feel the pain of losses more strongly than the pleasure of gains. I'm guilty of this. This happened a lot to me. Losses were painful to have. And when I won, I was like, yeah, I know. I won. That's what should have happened, right? But I didn't really celebrate them. I didn't say, wow, I actually won. This is what good trading looks like. This is the trading I want to keep doing. Um, but when a loss happens, I'm like, I'm such a bad trader. I took this loss. Can't believe I took this loss. I didn't have to take this loss, blah, blah, blah. So you need to work on celebrating those wins. That's how you're going to overcome the availability bias. So that's the tendency to overestimate the probability of events based on how easily we can recall them. So overcome this by seeking out diverse sources of information and avoiding the influence of media hype and rumors. So when I talk about trading news, I don't talk about headlines. This stock is doing this, the US is doing this. Now, I do keep up on that, but I don't let that fully influence my trading unless there's war. When that news headline hits, the markets really had volatility, especially the currency market. So, what I'm talking about with news is, are we going to release economic data? So, housing market, retail, are any of the Fed chairmen speaking? Um, you know, stuff like that, right? So, actual stuff that the news about our economy versus Apple is going to get sued for using lightning chargers more than USB-Cs or something. I don't know. I just made that up, but I'm not trading that individual stock. I'm trading the entire economy with the S&P 500 and looking at Forex pairs like the dollar and the euro. So I need to know world news and economy news, not small headlines like everyone thinks the stock market's going to crash. Well, you could still make money if it's crashing. So let's focus, put our plan into place. Is there any setups to make money on the downfall, right? So don't get caught up in the hype, and don't let that FOMO kick in.